Chengdu consistently had a very large roster that it more or less utilized fully aside from a few players. With 4 DPS, 3 tanks, and 4 supports, these guys were overflowing with talent. And today, I'm going to try to rank them. This video was requested by a subscriber of mine. Feel free to request any that you'd like to see. Anyway, let's get started. Number 11, Terra Cookie. Terra Cookie simply was not that good last year. He barely played and got farmed the few times he did play. He was pretty much dead weight, and hopefully his going back to Team Chaser makes room for the prodigal Aprita. Same goes for my number 10 pick, Jimmy. He gets a few points for actually seeming decent on the hit scan, but he kind of got farmed as well and was simply outplayed by most of the other people in APAC and globally. He did not look that impressive whatsoever. I hope he can prove himself again on Team Chaser. And next, this could cause some controversy, but Ameng. I still really like Ameng, and he's still one of my favorites to watch in the league for the past 3 years. But ultimately, he's simply outclassed by GaGa on all of his heroes and was benched for the majority of the season. He's also a bit of a one-trick on the ball. I know his Ryan gets memed about a lot, but it's simply not that good. Hopefully he can get back into the league somehow. I heard Valiant is still looking for a new main tank. Next, number 8 is Nisha. Again, a really solid player that was lagged behind some unfortunate circumstances, being on the same team as Yvelto. I really like his Mercy play especially. He paired really well with Jinmu and Farway, but he simply isn't as good as Yvelto on any of his heroes, even the Mercy, and was benched most of the time by the end of the season, where Chengdu really picked up steam. I'm glad he's still on for next season, though. Number 7 is Farway, the 8th best flex support of all time, according to Avast. I'm kidding. Avast is an idiot, but that's not the point. The point is, Farway did have a lot of good moments and showed a lot of potential, but simply didn't live up to his hype going into the season and was benched by Monk a lot of the time. Hopefully he can show that he's really capable of in a double flex support meta. But next, number 6 is Jinmu. I know. The dude is cracked and was a huge part of the Hunter's success last year with jaw-dropping Pharah play and great Sombra. However, those are the only 2 heroes he really impressed on, which is why I had to put him a bit lower. His hero pool was really small, and honestly the meta saved him a bit. He barely played when those 2 weren't meta, and wasn't nearly as dominant when he had to swap off. He's great, but his inflexibility could bite him in Overwatch 2. Number 5 is Liang. The dude is a beast. He managed to pick off where Elsa left off flawlessly and even surpassed him by the end of the season with his crazy Zarya play and top-tier diva. Though I have to put him a bit lower because, well, he simply didn't play for the first half of the season. He was consistently benched for diva, which has been the story of the past 2 years as well. Liang is phenomenal, but I had to talk points off for a lack of playtime. Number 4, Yvelto. The dude is crazy. While I feel he lacks a great Lucio, which could become a problem, he easily had the 2nd best Mercy in the league, pocketing Jinmu phenomenally, rarely dying and putting out crazy heals. He's even number 1 on damage with her. His break absolutely rivals Skewed for the best in the world. His aggressive playstyle leads to him getting a surprising amount done and a lot of heals. Hunters wouldn't be nearly as successful without him, but if he's so good, why is he only number 4? Because I can't forget what happened in playoffs. For those unaware, the reason he was benched behind Nisha in playoffs is because Yvelto was unmotivated, reportedly reading manga during scrims and not trying. Nisha is, again, pretty good, but the team took a hit and an early exit because of his behavior, and they had to dock some points off for that. Number 3 is Monk. Monk is actually crazy good. He had plenty of jaw-dropping moments on the Zenyatta and was very solid on the Baptiste and Ana. He rivaled some of his DPS partners in damage in most games, while still pumping out plenty of healing. He was absolutely one of the better flex supports in Season 4. However, I do need to jock a few points for the mere reason that statistically, he's a little unimpressive. If you directly compare him to, say, Izayaki, Fielder, Shu, or even Violet and Jonak, he falls short by a fair margin. He's still one of the top flex supports of last year, but honestly I think he's overrated, especially by Avast. Number 2 is GaGa. This guy is nutty. The 2nd best ball of Season 4, at minimum a top 5 Winston and an above average Orisa. I think he'd be able to play the Orion solidly as well, but the team didn't really have a Lucio player to pair with him. GaGa was absolutely a top main tank last year, and I'm really excited to see him pound in Season 5. Then number 1 is obviously Liang. Chengdu would not be nearly as successful without Liang. Hell, they'd probably fall below Philadelphia, Seoul, and maybe even New York and Hangzhou without him. He's absurd. Even when the Hunters were struggling, he would consistently put up carry performances without dropping a beat. He was the rock in a consistently changing 12-man team, and is probably the most deserving pure MVP of all time. The impact he had on his team is immense. And even just going based off his performance, he is first on single blows with Tracer out of people with significant playtime on her, first in final blows on Echo, first in final blows on Hanzo, first in final blows on Sombra, second in final blows on Cassidy and Ashe, and is shown to be able to play Widow, Genji, and even Torb to a high level. The dude's insane on multiple heroes, is what caused Chengdu to be successful through several metas, even when Jinmi wasn't playing or when Jimmy was struggling. Liang is an absolute monster, and is my pick for the best DPS in the world, as he rivaled the other top players in stats, despite his team being a fair bit worse than Shanghai, Dallas, Galads, and even Atlanta and Shock. I don't think I've ever seen a player more deserving of the title Most Valuable. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more. I upload almost daily Overwatch League content, and I'm trying to hit 100 subs by Season 5, so any subscription helps greatly. Thanks.